So Tone City pedals show up on the market, and literally everything about the mini pedal changes. Here we have a pedal that's built like a Mack truck with nearly boutique sound at way under $100 per pedal price point. And it shook the market up. A lot of the big players started lowering their prices to try to get competitive. A whole bunch of other pedal companies came out with tried to do a similar thing. In my opinion, haven't come close. Tone City's still leading the market in that price range for a mini pedal, and they're really unbelievable. So we thought we would take 3 different guitar players playing 3 completely different styles of music and have them agree to the same four Tone City pedals to create their sound. Just again to show how versatile the line is. So they picked 4 of all the Tone City pedals. They agreed upon the same 4 and created their sound. And so here's how that went.
And drum roll, here come the tone platter of toneness. So you're spoiling us with your platter of goodness.
Wow.
So we've got to pick 4 pedals only.
I think the only reverb here is the tiny spring. Without reverb, it's just too flat.
Okay. So tiny spring is pedal number 1. That's good for me because I would like reverb. In fact, I can't play without it.
Okay. Oh, it's my go now?
Yeah.
See, I would go Mandragora, but I'm going to go Golden Plexi.
I bought the Mandragora for my wife.
I also
Purely
bought
because
one.
it's purple.
I bought one too. I'm going to go Golden Plexi because it's still got a nice mid-range grunt and bite to it, even though it's not the most high gain.
So now, my problem is that my immediate want would have been this Model M, but we've got a drive pedal, although that drive pedal, from my experience, is all of the drive, all of the time, and if you back it off, it's like still all of the drive most of the time.
Yeah, but I'm playing prog metal, so it's fine.
Okay, I guess I'm going for the Model M. Oh!
The last
Kurt
one.
picks the last
I'd
one.
say Kurt
Well-
picked the last one.
Now, for what I do, compression comes in handy, but I don't need it.
Really?
Not really. I mean, I use it a lot, but I don't overuse it.
Are you
that means
a
he's
hybrid?
exceptionally
Are you a
good.
hybrid picker or just a finger picker?
For playing country, it's a lot of hybrid. So yeah, I didn't even know what that was called at first.
Right.
I was like,
You just naturally did it in the
started
Honky Tonk
doing it.
Stardust Cowboys.
Like, yeah. A little slap back for me goes a long way. But if you want a longer echo, they do fill things up nicely.
There we go.
Right. So we've got the 4 pedals of joy. Hopefully, the 3 of us.
I reckon we stand a good chance.
Yeah.
I mean, we got delay, reverb, and 2 different types of overdrive distortion, so...
So let's next on this agenda explain which guitars we're using. I've chosen this, which is from a small company in England called Chapman Guitars. Comes with a ping, and this is the ML2 Classic. And the reason I've chosen it is because although I own the guitar company, I don't own one of these, and I've always wanted to. For some reason, I've never really bought myself one. It's got that great in-between tone that I just love, kind of Peter Green style. So I'm going to be using this.
Bluesing it up. I am also opting for a Chapman guitar.
That's pretty.
This is the ML3 Modern, and the reason I chose this is because it's got a ceramic, it's got, what is the name of the magnet? It begins with ferrite magnet, which is really grunty in the mid-range, so for doing a lot of chugging and like jagged sounding playing, this actually sounds perfect for that style. So, and it's got an ebony board, so it's nice and snappy.
And we figured since we're both using Chapmans, we just wouldn't let Kurt use Chapman.
Yeah, sorry man.
So what have you got?
I've got an American Standard Fender Telecaster.
Nice.
Lovely.
And the reason I like the Tele is anything you need to do, you can do on a Telecaster.
I absolutely-
It's been proven time and time again.
Absolutely believe that.
So you've got,
Truth.
your front pickup, which is nice and mellow on its own. If you want to back off the high end a little bit, and then you've got all the bite you need and that nice chunky mid-range tone with both of them.
Oh yeah.
And on that note, we should
Yes.
try this rig.
Let's do it. Okay, so I'm going to get myself a kind of a bluesy rock tone. I'm actually really, really happy with the selection of pedals because I think they're all going to work really well for my particular chosen genre or style. Putting this into the in-between setting and giving it that kind of honky Peter Green sound. Now I have noticed that we're using reverb on the amp, so I'm just going to switch that off and just use the tiny spring reverb. So that's the guitar tone. For whacking the spring, I'm going to get this. And then what I've managed to do, unexpectedly, is exactly what Beer did. Back down the golden plexi to get a really cool crunch. And then to give it that kick in the teeth, I've got the tape machine as a kind of a doubling, thickening effect. And finally, the crunch setting on the Model M to give it super ridiculous overdrive.
Cool, so I'm set up, I've got my pedal board on the ground with all the pedals, and to be fair, I haven't touched anything. And, well, actually, that's a lie. The golden plexi, I've taken almost all the gain out just to push it to make it like a crunch. The amp we're using is the Supro Saturn Reverb. And then, basically, for the kind of prog rock, prog metal thing that I sometimes do, it's nice to have a really ambient sound, like a delay and a reverb, and then put in a bit of crunch to give it a bit more intensity. And then obviously you want like a high gain, mid-heavy tone that's really good for chord definition and chugging. So let's see if it stands up.
does the job.
All right. Well, I'm Kurt Rodman, and I'm playing this Telecaster today. Play some country stuff with this exact same rig, which I did make some minor adjustments to the controls a little bit, nothing too major. But here's my dry guitar tone straight into the amp. I'm going to add some reverb. Tape machine. This is still no gain settings at all. I'm going to try the plexi first. I'm going to try a couple different pickup positions here. Middle position. Now let's go to the Model M. I turned the crunch down quite a bit, but we still have so that's probably a little more gain than I usually use for playing country, but at least it's there, and you can always back off your volume or pick lighter. So yeah, nice gritty Telecaster tone, and still got the mellow capabilities if you want them, you know, they're right there. So yeah, same exact 4 pedals, little different configurations on the controls, but just shows you how versatile things can be.
So, that was ridiculously easy.
Yeah.
Or at least a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think the pedals did really well.
I think the pedals... Well, you sat down and didn't do anything.
I didn't. All I did was turn the golden plexi down to just a little bit of crunch, and then left everything as is. So
Yeah.
and it handles. To be fair, we were saying, weren't we, that the tiny spring is actually more ambient than I was expecting. It was like a huge long reverb trail with a bit of modulation there. But it handled prog metal as far as I'm concerned without a problem.
And nice work with that delay.
Thank you.
He knows how to delay.
Yeah,
He's
just
got-
giving it a bit more ambience.
Yeah, he can trails. Yeah, all I did was turn a little bit down.
Yeah.
I turned the crunch all the way down on the Model M because you discovered it's a really hot pedal.
Yeah, I turned it down even more. Just-
So it was
But I usually don't use that much gain, you know, for what I do normally. But
Yeah.
it's nice to have it there.
yeah, Kurt doesn't need a lot of gain, just lots of volume.
Oh yeah.
But what was interesting is that you came on and had it pretty much, you know, fairly hot. I turned it down, and you turned it down even more, and it still worked. But a lot of it was done at the guitar.
Right. And the pickups make a big difference too.
Yeah, because the ML3 I played had quite high output ceramic magnet pickups, which are just hot inherently, you know.
Yeah.
So
What's your normal gigging gear then? What do you use?
Well, I play a Telecaster pretty much about 95% of the time. Like I said earlier, everything you need to do, you can do on a Tele, you know. And I do have some hotter pickups in it because some rooms you play, there's a inherent buzz, so I
Yeah.
have stacked humbuckers, which keeps the tone nice and bright, but just gets rid of the noise and a little more output.
Which brand are they?
Duncan's, they're the vintage stack.
Right. Okay, that's very interesting. You're the first country player I've heard that does that.
Really?
That makes a lot of sense. Makes perfect sense.
Well, you know, you keep them stacked, you've got that flux is still narrow, so
Yeah.
the tone's a little brighter than with humbuckers, you know, side by side, it spreads it out a little bit.
Very interesting. Yeah, I think my favourite pedal of all of these, surprisingly, was the Golden Plexi, but dialed right back.
yeah, just to push it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never done that with that pedal before.
Yeah. So, out of curiosity, because I'm terrible at mental arithmetic, but this entire pedal board, what's it work out at, roughly?
So it comes out to be a very reasonable little pedal board.
Under $300.
Wow.
Oh, well, there you go. That's insane. I mean, all we have is a clean tone. I mean, it is an amazingly good amp. We use the Supra. It's ridiculously good. Great cleans, nice and warm and fat sounding. 15 watts. When you were saying you pretty much use 15 watts anyway, don't you?
Nowadays I do, because I'm getting older and my rig just gets smaller and lighter as every year goes by.
It's exactly the same with us. I'm getting older. Rabia also is aging, and we just changed to Kempers because we did a couple of videos recently where we profiled or copied the sound of a JCM 800 and what was the clean amp we did?
It was a Morgan 12 watt, just class A clean amp.
Just couldn't tell the difference between the Kemper and the heavy stacked valve amps. So we're just getting Kempers, and we're just going to be profiling all the amps and then taking those on USB sticks.
Particularly for gigs abroad. If I'm still playing around the UK, I only use a lunchbox head, which is one of these anyway.
Yeah, me too.
They're only like 8 kilos, so that's great. But yeah, so the total amount of this pedal board,
$300.
There you
That's
go.
absolutely insane.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it sounded really, really good actually.
And you're handling 3 very broad genres there, because you've got the blues rock, country, and you've got, like, I guess, progressive rock, progressive metal, which are completely... I mean, there's a little bit more of a close relation between the blues rock and the country, but progressive metal is like the other side of the spectrum, I suppose.
If you had to brand this particular pedal board, what would you brand it be?
What would I brand it?
What would you call it?
The Jack of all trades board.
That's a great name, and I'm really glad I asked you because you came up with a great one. Well, I've definitely been Rob Chapman.
I've been Rabia.
I'm Kurt Rodman.
Guys, take it easy. See you there.